Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I want to talk about 7 things I wish I knew before I turned 40. Now, there are so many lessons that I've learned in life for my being 40 years old. There's so many things I've learned all through these years. But I just want to talk about 7 because I don't want this video to be too long or too lengthy. So I will just talk about 7. So with that blabbing a lot, let's just get right in. Number 1, stop looking to others for happiness. Listen, guys, when we look to others, it's an indication that we are not happy in the inside. Because when you look to other people to make you happy, it's an indication that something is not right. Because generally, your happiness does not come from anyone. People around you, of course, you are happy to be around them, but that happiness that radiates from people that you like, that you feel like they are happy, is something that comes from the inside of you. And looking back now in my life, I realized that growing up, I really struggled to fit in as a child, as a teenager. Even at some point in my adult life, I did struggle just to be happy and to fit in, to be people's friend, to be likable. And without knowing this, I seeked approval from people just because I want to be this cool kid, this cool friend, and which messed my life up for a very long time. And I felt like my happiness depended on me having a relationship, being around people. And reflecting on it now, there were times where I always felt like if I'm not in a relationship with somebody, something was wrong with me. And if I am alone, like I don't have friends around hanging out with people, I felt like shit. And obviously something was wrong with me, which made me to stay in relationship that were toxic, being with friends that do not like me, because I felt like I was happy being around them. I did not know myself. And looking back now, I cringe at those wasted years, how I wasted so many years trying to or looking for happiness outside of me, thinking that my environment, people, relationship will make me happy. And one of the ways that I resulted in just stop or in just being happy by myself or stop looking to others for help was just realizing certain things. That one of it was that I'm an introvert and I enjoy spending time by myself. I love reading books, I love writing, and obviously my YouTube channel, I love being around my family, which is my young kids and my husband. And these were things that I was kind of ashamed of because I felt like I was weird. Why would somebody just love to be by themselves, love to read their books and write? Because the people that were around me did not like such things. I was hanging out obviously with the wrong people, and I was ashamed of the things that I truly liked. Now I am so free. I am not ashamed to say that this is who I am. And one of the things that have helped me so far is positive affirmations, which I am really into, and I encourage people to carry out this exercise in their lives, which has really been a blessing to me. I speak positive affirmations into my life because it has changed my life and continue to change my life. I affirm daily that my happiness does not come from anyone. It does not come from my husband. It does not come from my children. It does not come from my job. It does not come from anything but within me. Obviously, I'm happy to be around my family, around people that I love, that loves me, things that I like. But my happiness, my source of happiness, it comes from within me. And that is something that I affirm daily. And the more I say it, the more I believe it, and the more that I see that I am happy. I do not need to be in a room with any other person to be happy. I do not need to always be around my husband to be happy. Positive affirmation is the weapon that helped me. Now, number 2, self-love is underrated. I tell you this. Loving myself and valuing myself is not it has not always been something that came easily for me. I was not brought up by parents who taught me that I have to like be intentional about loving myself or value myself. I was not brought up in an environment where I was told that I love you, in an environment where there was this emotional connection. My parents, their love language was providing food, typical African parents, providing food, paying for your school fees, and that was it. There was never hugs, there was never I love you, there was never anything like that, or self talk to tell me that you are a beautiful young lady and you are loved and you are valued. Those things never came. And some of the things that I learned on the street. And you know what they say, when you learn from the street, you will make so many mistakes that you will wish you never made. And through the years as an adult, I've learned to love myself. And one of the ways that I do this is by investing in myself. I invest in myself through taking trips by myself. I've done solo trips. I've taken care of myself physically. I've gone to spas, self-cares, and there are so many things invested in myself, in books, in knowledge, in so many ways that I felt like has shaped my life into being the woman that I am and will continue to be for the rest of my life. Obviously, pass some of these things to my daughter. And another thing that I've done for myself in terms of self-love is taking care of my health. Because the older you get, you should be intentional about your health. And being a 40 years old lady, I tend to try and eat healthy. I try to drink more water, and I've been kind as well to myself. And what do I mean by this? I gave birth, I started giving birth around, I think, 2 years ago. I was almost 40, and things didn't happen for me early. There were people who started having birth or giving birth to children early. It just didn't happen for me. For some strange reasons, life, the thing I wanted most, which was children, it never came early for me. So, and giving birth at this time of my life, it affected my body shape, and I jumped a few dresses like size up. But one thing I knew was, or because I've already worked on myself, on loving myself, I was not hard on myself. I just allowed my healing, my body to heal by itself and continue to heal by itself. And I just had another baby now, so I'm just allowing my body to heal by itself. Imagine giving birth when you are 40. So it's not easy snapping back. It's not like I'm a size 8 or size 10, but I'm just okay, and I love myself, I tell you this, and which is one of the reasons why I created this channel, because the way I do love myself, my confidence in myself, it prompts me to make videos where I talk about weight. There are people who have criticized me on this channel, and they say stuff like, oh, tell them to hit the gym, why are you encouraging people to be fat? I am not. If you listen, I actually am not encouraging anybody to be fat. I'm encouraging people to love, or women to love their bodies, to love yourself. If you feel like you need to lose the weight, you have to start from loving yourself. Because if you love yourself, you will eat right. If you love yourself, you will go to the gym, you will get some exercise done at home, or whatever you feel like you can do for yourself to feel good, because exercise generally, it makes you feel good. Eating right makes you feel good. Fitting into that dress and you feel like you look good, it's just self-love. And on this channel, basically, I encourage women or matured ladies who have had it rough in life, and sometimes these things have resulted in some people gaining weight and losing themselves in the process. I am here to let these ladies know, and let you, my sisters, know that you are beautiful. And loving yourself is one of the first steps that you take in losing that weight, starting a career, moving to a new city, even meeting the one if you are still single. That is basically what this channel is all about. Self-love in total. And I've learned that loving me, there is nothing selfish about it. And who else can love you like you? Because you teach people to treat you and love you just by the way you treat yourself and love yourself. So, like I said, who can love me like me? And I am so confident in myself that I look at the mirror every day and I say, I love you. You are pretty, you are beautiful, you are wonderful, you are just perfect. And that is the truth, which I think every woman should do. That's just the truth. Because there will always be somebody that is more prettier than you. There will always be somebody that is more perfect in looking or whatever than you. So you being unkind to yourself and beat yourself up to say, oh, I'm not perfect, I'm not this, I'm not that. Let me tell you this, you are still prettier than somebody. So you better get yourself together and love yourself. Like I said, I've always said this. You teach people how to love you, how to treat you by the way you love and treat yourself. A friend of mine said they've never seen me complain about me adding weight or anything like that. I'm so always confident about myself. I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I? This is the body that God has given me to live in. I am so kind to myself. If I feel like I'm adding weight the way I don't want to, I check my diet. Am I eating too many carbs? Am I not active enough? Am I drinking too much soda? Stuff like that. And I don't want to be a size 10. I've never wanted to be a slim or a thin woman. I've never, even as a woman, I admire women who are curvy. I stop women on the road who are curvy and I say, girl, you look good. And it's not because I want them to feel good. It is because that is how I feel. I just find them, women with curves, curvy women, plus size women, I find them beautiful. That is just the truth. As a human being, I find them beautiful, especially the ones that are confident. And like I said, this is why I started this channel, to say, be kind to yourself, love you, so that you can teach others to treat you good. Now, number 3, setting healthy boundaries and saying no. So this one, most people, or I myself, and generally most people, it's setting boundaries and saying no. It's not something that comes easily at all, because sometimes it will make you look bad to people and it will make you unpopular around people, especially people who don't understand these things, or people who you have been around for so long, who have been taking the piss, who don't even respect people boundaries. And when you come up with all this talk of my boundaries, and you see people looking at you like you're crazy. At least I have seen people look at me like, okay, where is she coming from now? She's acting like she's brand new. But that is the truth. In my years of living, I have reflected on my life and I'm saying that in so many ways I allowed people into my space that I shouldn't have allowed into my space. I made friends with people I shouldn't have. I dated people I shouldn't have. And I hated myself for it for so long. I had to forgive myself about that. And I used to find it hard to say no to people. Even when I do say no, I felt the need to explain myself so people don't get offended, which I don't anymore. I do not do that anymore. And I think you should explain sometimes, but me personally, most 80% of the time, I'll tell you, girl or guy or whatever, I can't do this. Can we talk about this some other time? Or I am not available, or it doesn't feel convenient for me at this time. Because I have just outgrown, and being 40 years old, I just feel like life is too short for me to be explaining all my moves to people like I'm a child. I realize now that because of the way I carry myself these days, and like I said, working more on setting boundaries and saying no, I have fewer friends and I don't care. Seriously, it's good to have people around you, but it's good to have people who love you, people who respect your boundaries, not toxic people or people who want to take the peace out of you just because they are in relationship or friendship with you. I don't see any reason why you should share my information with somebody else without my permission. I don't see why you should give somebody my number without my permission. And there are people who do these things. And one of my favorite quotes that I love is, people will treat you and teach people will treat you how you teach them to treat you. I know you've heard me say this over and over in this video and some of my subsequent video, because that is just the truth. Setting boundaries, yeah, it has not only helped me to respect other people's boundaries, but it has also showed me the importance of setting one. And there's this lovely quote by Oprah Winfrey that I think is very, very interesting. It says, "Say no will set you free." And yes, saying no has set me free. It has helped me to stay in my house when I don't want to go out. And I think you should try it as well. Learn to say no when it's not convenient for you. How long will you live your life by doing what other people want you to do and you know you don't want to do it? That is one of the benefits of being 40 for me. I don't care anymore. If I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. If I want to, it is because I want to. Now let's jump to number 4. Learning new things. And this one I love so much. I've always, personally myself, I've always been a lover of books. I love fiction, I love non-fiction. And if you know me, you would know that I cherish my Kindle more than I cherish my food. I would rather miss my flight than leave my Kindle behind. That is how bad it is for me with reading. I love reading. Reading has always been my safe place. You know what I mean? I have traveled the world through my books. I have visited beautiful places such as the beautiful Amalfi Coast in Italy, and as far as the Azura Peri Peri Beach Club in Mozambique. Seriously, I love to read. I get lost reading. And there are people who don't get it, and that is fine. However, reading is not, or reading new books is not just the only thing that I love. I love to try new stuff, new skills. Because one of the famous saying of Gandalf the wizard of the Lord of the Hosts would say is, life is not in your books, it is out there. So for me, learning new things or reading new book or a new skill is one thing that has helped me to discover what I like and the things that I do not like. And you hear people say, "Oh, I don't know what I like," or "Oh, I can't help me," or what tell me what to do to find my path. And I always say this simple thing: do everything you think you like, and you will find the thing you like from the things you don't like, if it makes sense. There was a time in my life that I thought I loved nails. I want to fix nails. I want to have a nail salon. And I actually took a course. I went for this 3-day course and I hated it. I didn't have the patience for it. And that was one thing I ticked out of my discovery book to say, out of it, because I tried it. And another thing I did as well was sewing. I bought a sewing machine. I even named the sewing machine Bonnie. Oh God, I love that sewing machine. Okay, I think I'll show you a picture of this machine. I still have it. But like I said, when I did buy that machine, I found that I hate sewing. I didn't like the measuring part of things. I just didn't. So one thing struck in out of my discovery book, and I even bought a course in interior decorating. I was like, I definitely want to decorate house. You know that feeling, girl. I didn't finish it. I hated it. But I quickly found out that none of these things was what I wanted and what I loved doing and what I enjoyed doing. But I'm grateful that I learned some new skills, because these things I've mentioned are some of, it's not all of the things. I learned some other things such as makeup and some other stuff that I did, even skincare. I did take some courses on. But I'm grateful that I learned new things. These are skills that I already have, that I now have, because I allowed myself to learn new things. And this mentality came with years. You understand what I'm saying? So I am so grateful that I'm able to know what I like from the things I do not like. by just learning new things and doing it. And like I said, I love talking. I love talking. And that is why I have this channel. Me starting a YouTube channel made me realize that, wow, I love it. I love to talk. Seriously, I love to express myself. There are people who would like my videos. There are people who don't like it. I don't care. I love to talk. I love to record myself. I love to encourage others. So why not start one? And I'm enjoying it so far. Now, number 5, the benefit of having a positive attitude and mindset. Personally, I take one day at a time. It hasn't always been like that, but it has been like that for me for years. And not because I do not worry about stuff, but because I have learned from experience that worry changes nothing. It only drains you and it robs you of your joy. Life is full of ups and downs, failures and laughter, zigzag zog. That is just how it is. And that is because when you live longer, you just know it's just like a pattern. You just know there are times where things will just be working out, and there will be times where it will just be one problem to another problem to another problem to another challenge, if you know what I mean. So why should I worry? I just pray that every day God gives me the grace to overcome it, because if it happens to me, it means I have the grace to overcome it. So I don't worry like that. It's just my mentality. I just have this positive attitude and this positive mindset, which is a blessing to me. There were things that I felt I was never going to achieve in life, years ago and growing up as well. There were things that seemed impossible for people like me. And some of these things, I would say 70% of them, I've had them and I still have them. And imagine me dying of a heart failure or fall into depression or whatever, even worse, just because I didn't have those things then. Not knowing that these things are already given to me, they're already in my future. And I am so grateful to God every day that has helped me to just cultivate this mindset, this positive attitude about life, that what is mine will come to me. It will not pass me. And that is the truth. I do not envy anyone. I do not look at what another person has and wish that, oh God, I wish this is my life, oh God, and envy. I do not. And each time I say this, there are people who have looked at me like, okay. I said, because that was a prayer I prayed when I was so young, that God give me the spirit of contentment. And I never thought God would answer that prayer. And He did actually. I am one of the most content people in this whole world. I don't look at people's things. I do not. I do things. There's this African proverb that says, sew your coat according to your material. You know what I'm saying? I have always been that kind of person, and I'm grateful to God for that. If I'm buying a material, it is because I want to and I can afford it. It is not because somebody else has it. I do not bother with that kind of life. My attitude, my positive mentality is just a blessing to me. And I live my life every day with gratitude, knowing my life is someone else's prayer point. That's it. Chikina. Anyway, to the next point, number 6. My past doesn't define my whole life. Now, if you're enjoying this video or if you have watched it this far, it means you are enjoying me. So, girl, gentleman, why not like this video? Please like this video so other people can see this video and be encouraged. And please do subscribe, because I'm going to be making different kind of videos and maybe similar videos. Who knows? It depends on what you guys like on this channel as well. So please do subscribe and drop a comment in the comment section if you relate to any of the things that I've said. Just put in the comment section that you relate, and thank you so much. Anyway, number 6, my past doesn't define my whole life. What do I mean by this? I was the kind of person that used to beat myself about certain things that happened to me while I was growing up. I blamed myself for so many wrong decisions that I made because I lacked that direction from my parents when people were supposed to give me directions, and I didn't get it. And there were so many mistakes that were made in my life that if then I used to think that if I can take back the hand of time, I will not do these things. And I didn't just say that I was unkind to myself on that particular matter mentally. I beat myself up. I dated people I shouldn't have and made friends with certain people I shouldn't have. And it took me years to heal and move on from those negative thoughts, because you can have victory in one part of your life and be struggling in another part of your life. We all don't have it all. Nobody does. And these negative thoughts, they haunted me for years. And I'm saying this, no matter how chaotic your past has been or your failures, even past traumas, you are not your past. And it took me years for me to realize that I am not my past. You are not how you were treated by your exes or your ex-partner, a toxic partner, a toxic friend. You are not. You are not how you were treated by a toxic mother or father. We are all who we are by what we think we are. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So it took me time to get to that place in my mindset, in my mind, that my past is my past. It doesn't define who I am. And I think you should work on yourself, because you will be free. That is just the truth. Because the devil will hold your past on, he will hold it over your head to say you were this, you were that, you don't deserve this, you don't deserve that, you don't deserve this, you don't deserve that. You do, because you are who you say you are. Now, the last but not the least, which is number 7, and life is shorter than it seems. What do I mean by this? I love a simple and truthful quote. It said, "You will never have today again." And that is the truth. Because sometimes we live our life thinking, I have time. There is time. Girl, there's no time. There is no time. I could remember vividly when I turned 18, and that was like yesterday. I tell you this, look at me now. I used to think that people who are 40 years old, they are old, they are ancient. Girl, I never thought I would be 40, but yeah, I am. And because of that, I tend to cherish every day of my life. Because we as humans, we sometimes rush through the day like we will have it back, especially with social media, where people, or we go somewhere and everyone is taking pictures and people are not present, or we are not present at that time, which is such a shame, because then you will go to somewhere that is so beautiful, so exotic and stuff like that. All you were doing is taking pictures, and at the end of the day you are not actually enjoying where you are, and you go back looking at those pictures. Wow, I didn't see that. Oh, I didn't see this. Girl, but you were there. Because sometimes you just need to put your, I'm not saying you shouldn't take pictures, but put your phone down and just enjoy it. My husband is one of those people who go to places that he likes and he's like, take me picture, I need to keep this memory. And we are always fighting. And I always say to him, listen, let's just enjoy where we are. Because now you're turning me into a camera woman, if you know what I mean. Because you are robbing me of me enjoying or being present in this place. Because like I said, I have seen life, or I see life from a different perspective, and I want to enjoy this place where I am. And when I start taking in pictures, I lose the interest, because then I start getting pissed off now, because it is not making me enjoy where I am. I just want to enjoy it and savor the environment, take it all in, which I think it is good for your mental health and anybody's mental health, to be present and enjoy the environment that you are in, because life is shorter than it seems. There are so many things that I took for granted, thinking I have time. But guess what? Time waits for no one. Now I live my life because I don't want to waste it. Look at me, I'm 40 years old. I have babies. I have two kids who are less than 5 years old. And sometimes it creeps into my heart to say, if I'd had them earlier, and I'm going to be 40 to 50 and 60. It's not that far. And I'm thinking, God, how old will these children be? And I'll be old and I'm going to leave them in this wicked world by themselves, which is a kind of scary thing for me as a mother, because I know from experience that life is shorter than it seems, if you know what I mean. So, my darling, don't waste any time. Don't waste your time in relationships that do not favor you. Don't waste your time in friendships that do not mean anything to you, or hang out with people that don't care about you, because life is shorter than it seems. Because sometimes, yeah, we as women, we tend to waste our time all in the name of love in relationship that do not serve us. And at the end of the day, we find ourselves in this kind of situation that I'm in, which is one of my mistakes I made in life. And you are 40 giving birth. I have no business giving birth at 40. If I had been intentional about my dating, I wasn't. For a very long time, I wasn't intentional. I wasted so many years being in relationship with people who did not want what I wanted. But I thought they were going to change. Oh, they're going to change their mind. They never did. So I am saying to you, my darling, life is shorter than it seems. Take advantage of it. Live every second of it. So voila, this is the end of this video. And if you have watched up to this stage, I am so grateful to you and I thank you. And I'm just going to end this video here because it's obviously too lengthy now, but what can we say? It's my birthday and I'm grateful and I'm thankful and I just want to talk. And I'll see you on my next one. Adios.